Today is August 10th. The Yankees have an off day, but we do not stop. You guys called. We will answer. It's the voicemail app. Let's do it. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old Jomboy and Jake. Recaps galore and weekly awards. Stat lines, steaming hot takes. Your Yankees news with these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old Jomboy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old Jomboy and Jake.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jimmy. I'm sitting next to Jake. Producer BBD behind the plate. We are coming to you live from the Roosevelt Studios here in the Bronx. That's rsvlts.com/Johnboy. We just got a big old package, 2 packages actually, of Roosevelt shirts. So we're looking dapper. Jake's got rocks, and I've got flowers because I'm pretty and Jake's a rock.
Rocky, that's my old nickname. I haven't been called that in a while.
/ ever, besides one person.
Well, it's a nickname of mine, Jake Rocky Stromboli. How you doing, everybody? Thanks for listening. This isn't a radio show, so I won't talk like this. Sometimes I do. Doing all right. You know, this weekend was a doozy, man. A lot of baseball, a lot of angry fans. We were a little nervous for the voicemails. We've heard the voicemails are pretty solid. Excited to listen to them. And, for whatever reason, I was just on the 2018 Yankees baseball reference, and, you see Greg Bird played the most games at first base that year, and it's like, whoa.
Why'd you get there?
I was going to do a stats tweet about guys' stats since they've been on the Yankees, and it was going to be like Voit, Ford, Tauchman, Clint, and then the question was I going to include in Gardner? Because, there are a lot of people out there that don't want Brett Gardner to play. We think you're foolish. So I was going to see where I was going to get some stats from. But either way, Andrew McCutchen on that team. So it's good seeing, when you click on it and everybody's face is up there, It's the highest WAR. I just think it's hilarious, like, how different faces look.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I mean, just look at these guys.
Who's looking wildly different there? Savvy. That's not how I picture Savvy.
Just when you go face to face, it's like, oh my God, humans are wild.
Oh, I see. I thought you were saying they look different in their picture than real life.
No.
You're saying humans in
just
general.
how different humans can look.
Like if you put 5 deers up, are we thinking like,
right?
That's all the same deer?
Like deers probably think each other look pretty different. But we look at humans. Like, I mean, Chad Green, Tanaka, and Andujar are back to back to back. And I mean, just different smiles, different head sizes.
It's true.
Tanaka, cute as hell. So that's where I'm at.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Clint gets called up.
We knew it would happen. He hit us with the Toy Story gif again. That's his news breaking.
You got it, flaunt it.
It's kind of funny.
It's good.
Going back to that same well is really good.
Keep playing it, yeah.
I laughed when I saw it.
If you got something,
him.
Use it.
I laughed with him. It was a good joke by him. All right, let's just go straight into these voicemails.
Yes.
See what we got here. We got a bunch. BBD, do you have them in the order that you want me to listen to them in? Yeah? Yeah, all right.
Confident head nod.
Hey, Jimmy, Jake, and BBD. This is a confused Andy from Minnesota calling this week with a question about Game 1 from Wednesday versus the Phillies. So they were in a pretty close game. I think it was 4-3 when they brought in Nick Nelson. And he gave up, I believe it was 7 earned runs. And the Phillies batted him around, and he only got 1 out. So I just wanted to see what you guys think about Booney not yanking him for Sessa earlier. And obviously we saw with the comeback, they might have had a shot to win if they had yanked him earlier. Just wanted to get your take on this. Thank you, guys. Go Yanks.
That is going deep in the baseball world. I think we're like 8 games
Deep cuts.
ahead of this.
Tyro got a hit in that game.
Thank you for
Wade
calling. But
had a hit in that game.
if you remember, and we talked about it on the recap episode, Nelson didn't pitch poorly. He induced all the hits they got were 50 miles per hour or less. So it was not a reflection of his pitching. They tried to turn 3 double plays, and they all didn't get turned. And like they had an easy out at home. Higgy dropped the ball. They had an easy out there. Someone else made an error. I think 5 infield hits in a row. So it really wasn't Nelson's bad pitching.
It wasn't 6 earned runs worth of bad pitching. I mean, he
wasn't striking guys out.
He didn't strike anybody out. He had a walk. He gave up a home run.
But all this happened after the
let
home
him down.
Yeah.
The defense didn't help. It definitely wasn't a 6 earned run day, although it goes in the books that way. 7 runs, 6 earned. It probably should have been 3, 4-ish, something like that. And I think more importantly, and again, we're going back in time, but I'll speed us up. J-Hap pitched that game, doubleheader, started the 6 games in 4 days. Hap to Holder to Nick Nelson to Luis Sessa. Nick Nelson had a really nice debut. He gave 3 innings. Didn't know he had 3 innings in the tank.
Hey-o.
So they had bullets for him to spend. He throws 38 pitches. And, I mean, to get through this stretch, the Yankees, the priority wasn't using your number ones and getting outs. You're playing and kind of scared that you're going to have arms left. And so look at, you can find one doubleheader game. This game, J-Hap, Holder, Nick Nelson, Sessa. And then what was the second game the other day, Jim? It was
King, Avalon, Abreu, Heller.
King, Avalon, Abreu, Heller. So, net, haven't dropped one of those on you guys in a while. There's 1.5 relievers in there that might pitch in a playoff game. So, and we'd either be up big or down big / Avalon getting one lefty out. So I understand what you're saying. And, it does, you feel it a little more when the Yanks start that cool comeback, but don't go down 11-3.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not on Nick Nelson's shoulders.
Hey, Jack from Long Island. Quick question about something that's going on in my life. I tend to watch the games a lot with my family, particularly my. It seems she's turning into a hateful fan. No matter what's happening on the field, no matter what's going on in the game, she seems to just shit all over the Yankees. And I honestly can't see why. I got in some hot water with her when I told her some of her opinions were factually wrong, and she got a little bit mad at me. How do you guys deal with hateful fans? Jake sucks, and let's go Yanks.
Is it mom, fiance, girlfriend?
I believe girlfriend.
Girlfriend? It kind of like cut out, right?
What were some of the takes? Did we get any of them?
What's going on in my life? I tend to watch the games a lot with my family, particularly my. It seems she's turning into a hateful fan.
Guess we'll never know who it was.
I guessed girlfriend.
Girlfriend, aunt /
Mom,
girlfriend,
sister,
someone,
fiance, girlfriend.
We heard of her, so
yeah,
I think it's a female.
I don't know.
Descent.
I don't know. Just counter or just ignore.
I mean, it's part of the beauty of sports. Don't get me wrong. It gets annoying when you have a full body of evidence, like a catcher being the fastest AL player to ever hit 100 home runs, and then people say he can't hit.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that, I understand. If you run into that wall, you're going to have a bad time. So, yeah, I'd be interested in the debates to see if maybe we could help clarify, but, yeah.
Send us a debate. And, you call in and then have her call in, and we'll do a little Talkin' Yanks Kangaroo Court.
Talkin' Yanks Lovers Quarrels episode.
Well, it could be mom or grandma. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't think he loves his mom?
I don't think you call them lovers. That's a family.
Bring that to the Kangaroo Court.
It's a family to family thing.
Different. Hey. BBD sweating that one out.
No,
What's
but
the next one?
that does suck to someone ruins your watching time.
Oh yeah.
That's why sitting next to someone at the stadium can ruin your whole event.
You'd have a bad time.
You either have a hateful person or you have the first date couple, which is the most brutal person to be sat next to at a game ever.
I like that. I like getting involved, though.
A brew.
I like to mix it up.
Old story, I sat next to a guy. Just telling her every player. Bobby Abreu. Come on, dude.
Bro.
She thought he was an expert.
He was.
And I couldn't be the one to be like,
just a pronunciation guy.
The rest of it followed suit. Yeah. All right.
Hey, it's Pat in South Carolina. Today I just wanted to ask, why don't the Yankees just use the luxury tax as a winning tax? The way I look at it is they're the biggest market in pro sports. They've got all the money in the world. Why don't they just pay the tax every year? Buy all the best players. I'm talking about a Yankee team with Trout, Judge, and Stanton. Not Hicks in center field. I want Trout. I want all these big names. I want Arenado. I want them to re-sign LeMahieu. I want them to have Scherzer and Cole in the rotation. Why don't they just pay the luxury tax as a winning tax? That's all I got for today. I like the podcast. Keep up the good work.
He said he liked the podcast at the end, so I'm going to lessen my first reaction.
Yeah.
Because if you want that to be the team, I don't think you're a Yankee fan. You're just like an all-star fan.
Yeah.
Being a bit hyperbolic.
I agree, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you want, that's not like... Anyway, dude, you say just blow the luxury tax. If they do that every year, if they go to the highest caliber and do it 3 years in a row, it's 50 cents on the dollar that they give back to their opponents.
Right.
Who then can use it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get the thought process. It's the, hey, make your team so good that you're winning World Series and you're the Yankees that you can increase your profits probably a decent amount if you become, the dominant, a new dynasty Yankees. Like, that leads to enough growth money.
Imagine how priced out the stadium would get then.
I think the bigger thing there is, okay, now how about you sit in the seat of the Steinbrenners and, you're running this organization, trying to make some money. Sure, you want to win some titles? Absolutely. What if I told you 2 GMs came to you and one GM says, here's the plan. We're going to spend everything. We're going to go nuts. We're going to spend, we don't care about the luxury tax. Let's bring in the best team and we'll win. We're going to win pretty much every year or every other year. And then another GM comes in and says, I'm going to spend a third of what that guy's talking about, and I think we're going to have a good chance to win it every year. You're hiring the second guy.
Yep.
So, that's just kind of not the beauty of sports. Like, that call is the opposite of my childhood. I spent my childhood saying the Yankees didn't pay for championships. They were homegrown, arguing over cafeteria lunch tables. And then they sign, Giambi, and they make a couple other big ones, go get A-Rod. And then the Yankees kind of got really hated again. And then the Red Sox started winning titles, and they had the big payroll. And then they just started telling them the Yankees sucked. And people were talking about the Yankees don't spend. And I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Am I in a bizarro world? So, no. And I always like to bring up Paris Saint-Germain when I can, the football team from France. And that's kind of their strategy. And they are hated. People hate them. So
Paris Saint-Germain?
Yes, PSG.
PSG. Cool. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. It's not really smart, I think.
Doesn't seem fun.
What he said...
Like, not the beauty of sports.
What he said didn't seem fun to me at all.
No.
Didn't seem fun.
That's not why I like
Judge
sports.
is homegrown. Glaber, they got in a trade. Hicks, they got in a trade. Gardy's homegrown. Gio, they got for $25,000. Talkman, they got in a trade. Voit, they got in a trade. DJ, they signed. Nice signing.
Right.
The Yankees the way the Yankees are built right now is very easy to root for. Like, hey, we made this team.
Yeah.
By Cash being smart and by grooming prospects, it's.
That's why Giancarlo's hated.
And then you have Cole and Stan, and those are the two other ones.
But I mean, he's wanted Cole forever, so it doesn't even count.
Tried to draft him, didn't
Tried
work.
to draft him, and then it's almost the opposite of why I like sports. Like, I like sports and it's why I play my dumb baseball video game, which I haven't been playing a lot lately. But it's all right. Life happens. 10-week season. But it's the strategy. It's, okay, should we get a lot of good pitchers and have really good defense? We've got these young guys coming up. If we sign these veterans, will it fit? And, that's the puzzle piece of sports.
Imagine if Herman wasn't a bad guy and Severino wasn't injured.
Yeah, dude, when I clicked on one of the old Yankee teams, his picture popped up and it was like, he was great for us last year.
Part of the plan.
Part of the plan.
Cole Paxton, Tanaka, Herman, Sevy.
Now we'll just sign Stroman, bro.
Visual reaction.
Good live visual for the
visual
patrons.
reaction, YouTube crowd only, which is available for everyone after the fact. Next.
Hey guys, this is Bruce in Holly Ridge, North Carolina. What's that dumb thing people say? First time, long time. So I'm just calling because I am outraged that the Yankees would sit LeMahieu and Judge in this game. I mean, look at the bums they're trying to run out there. Let's look at Talkman first. I mean, let's look at his stats. Okay, he's good. All right, but let's look at the next guy, Voigt. I mean, he's horrible. Let's look at his stats. All right, never mind. I guess they're both good. Outrage over. Guaranteed win? Yeah? Okay. Talk to you later.
It's good.
That's a good call.
It's a good call.
Good delivery on that.
Thank you, North Carolina. Was it Rob?
Holly Hill, North Carolina. Missed the name. But, yeah, appreciate that call. Like, I half get it if a Yankee fan says, like, why don't they bench one or the other?
Not 6 games. Oh, rotate it?
Yeah.
6 games in 4 days.
It's a lot.
You got to toss your on the Trop or at the Trop. Just toss your hands up. Yanks are about to win the next 10.
Ooh. Take Zilla.
Out of 15.
Okay. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Still pretty good.
Pretty good.
Boys, what's up? So I was sitting here thinking, if we had a backup team, I legitimately think they could like, I mean, maybe not get a wild card, but they would be competitive, more competitive than a lot of teams in the MLB. So hypothetically, in the outfield, we got to still have Cameron Maybin, I'm thinking, to make this work. But you got Clint, you got Talkman, you got Maybin in the outfield, and you got Cyrus Strada, Mike Ford, Tyler Wade, and Andahar in the infield, and Kyle behind the plate. Obviously, the pitching staff is different. You got to figure that out, whatever. But if you have that, you got that lineup, you got that infield, outfield. I mean, come on. The Yankees just have 2 competitive teams. One is the best team in the league. The other would be competitive. What are your thoughts?
I got a little distracted because Jake moved the air conditioner 1 inch, and it went from a hot room to
Comfy.
heaven. Are you hot now, BBD? No?
Did you feel a change when it happened?
Not really.
Okay.
Okay. The change over here was life-changing.
I feel incredible.
I am rejuvenated. This guy have Maybin on the team?
Yeah, so he did take the liberty of adding Maybin back, which is a nice, smart move.
I mean, I wonder where you're going to be on here because you are Mr. Future NL All-Star.
Yes. Been a while.
Years.
Like Ford's trying.
Yankees fans, like,
There it
shit
is.
talk their main players.
Yes.
Yankees fans are a weird enigma, man. Hype up their backups.
Yep.
The backups are overhyped in Yankee land. Like, I think it's embarrassing how much we say our B roster would be a competent team. Now, we have a lot of good guys.
Yeah.
Higgy's not cracking any starting roster. I don't think Ford is either right now. Maybe a platoon guy.
Yeah. Well, Ford, there's an argument.
Maybe. He's got like 2 months of ball.
Ford played pretty well last year.
Yeah. Still don't know if he's cracking.
It was better last year when
Wade's
Maybin
not
was
cracking
playing
any
well.
starting roster anywhere.
Like it'd have to be a pretty bad team. Like it'd have to be like the Orioles. Like I talked to Jake Cespedes about it, and he's like, "Yeah, we'd start.
Okay.
Be interesting to see." And it's the unknown. It's why people love Talkman and hate Gardy. You pretty much know what you're gonna get from Gardy.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some really hot stretches, some cold stretches. You know, B+ defense at this point. Talkman, you're gonna get probably A- defense, if not the same as Gardy. And then at the plate, it's just new. And you're hopeful. You want to see more of it. You know, they've seen the Brett Gardner show. So it's the old new toy versus what you've had. And there was a better case last year. I mean, I'm trying to think who else. It was Maben. I mean, Romine was the backup. He's starting in Detroit.
Yep, and he's doing good so far.
There was Maben.
I mean, Gio was like a backup. Now he's a starter.
Gio and
so
Andujar at third base. Like
changes.
Coming from Andujar the year before, where he did play the full year at third base.
Talkman's kind of a starter now.
I mean, we do have still a lot of outfield. And when we had Maben last year, I mean, between Judge, Stanton, Hicks, Talkman, Gardy, I mean, with Maben and then Clint. I think Clint was the DH on the second team last year, technically. And, I mean, you do the Ford-Voit thing, who, yes, Ford isn't completely proven, but he's getting shots on the Yankees. He hit third the other day, so...
That's not a real third, and you know it.
Not a real third, but he's hitting a real 6th or 5th on a given day.
Yeah, when he starts.
I mean, if there's a tough righty matchup, he's getting the start over Voit recently.
You just see a lot of Yankee fans say all our backups will be starters, and I don't think it's true.
No, I think the depth is pretty nice. And
it's very nice. Compared to other backups, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also there's like the playing other everyday effect. Like, I think Yankee fans, you can confidently say if Miguel Andujar was playing every day and he's healthy, he's a really good bat. The defense is going to be suspect wherever he is. Ford, there's kind of some question marks. Tyro, probably MVP type stuff. I think we have both said if Clint got a chance to play every day that, the bat would come out looking
good, above
average. And does the defense look better because he's playing every day? I don't know. So I get it. The team's not great, and, how about everybody does a double pitching staff, and let me know how that looks right now.
I like that. I like our double pitching staff.
Yeah? You like our top 10 starting pitchers?
Well, you got.
Where do you have Hap right now?
10.
Okay.
I have Sevy and Domingo on it.
They're hurt.
I have them on it.
And Domingo's on. He's restricted.
I have him
list
on
is he
it.
on? He's off. I'm telling you, he's off.
Just saying, if you Yankee starting pitchers in the organization,
sure.
Cole, Paxton, Tanaka, or not Hap. He's going to be 10th. Cole, Sevy, Herman, Schmidt,
Monty,
King, Lasagna, Hap. I love it.
You got a lot of love for some guys on that second hand. Okay.
Best 3-inning pitch starters going.
So how about this? The Orioles are improved. Who's the worst team in baseball? The Pirates?
Pirates, yeah.
The Yankees' second team probably beats the Pirates.
I mean, I just think that's like such a...
Right.
Like, not worth it to say. I would never say that to a Pirates fan because I just think it comes off so douchey, and I don't think it's true.
It comes off douchey, but I do think... And this is me coming from my Colorado Rockies culture, and someone just mentioned the Dodgers in the live chat, Rob. The Rockies always said, there was a year they tied the Dodgers. There was a year that the Rockies have never won the division. And they always say, over 162, we don't have the depth as the other teams when the Giants were stacked, when the Dodgers are stacked.
Yankees have great depth.
So it's valuable.
That's different than saying all of our backups would be a good MLB team.
Sure. It's a discussion. I think it's a discussion.
Yeah. All right. We got 2 in a row here.
Hey, guys. Longtime fan Emmy here.
Yes.
The brainchild behind the best t-shirt idea of all time, in my opinion. I'm just calling to worship JOMBOY and his constant, unnecessary defense of Gary. I worship the Kraken, and I absolutely hate that there's constant hate all over him. I love how much all the idiotic hate for him makes you angry, because it makes me equally angry. So I just wanted to thank you for that, and thank you for constantly making my day, guys. Go Yankees and go Kraken.
I don't know what shirt Emmy created. I'm very interested. Gio the God?
Maybe I'm blanking. Thanks, Emmy.
Thanks.
Kind of assumed you knew.
I don't.
Me too.
I feel bad that I don't.
Is it a recent one? Emmy? Staring down the camera.
This is a double-parter. We got another Gary call right afterwards.
Hey, guys. This is Evan in Albany. First time, long time. I know people have been getting down on Gary for his lack of hitting, but I'm watching the game now for the bottom of the fifth. Garrett Cole's at 103 pitches, and Gary looks like he's working his balls off to build like a rapport with this guy and to make a good battery. As I say it, there's a wild pitch, but, I'm still believing. Go Gary, go Yanks. Jake does not suck.
Okay.
This guy jinxed it.
Guy just hangs up the phone. Oh, God.
Fuck. Gary looks awful right now. He's striking out at 50% of more than 50% of his at-bats are strikeouts. A lot of them don't look great.
Hitting 103.
His framing, as we did on Sharp Stats, is the numbers are improving. It looks elementary. It looks weird. He's being told to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's helping improve per the numbers. And Paxton said that he loved throwing to him. Cole showers him with compliments. So I wish we could say, yeah, dude, Gary looks awful right now. He looks bad. But that door is always open. That's the status quo in Yankees fans, is that he's the worst. Like, a lot of Yankee fans, if this was another player, it would be when it was Glaber.
Glaber's up to 157 after a good weekend.
They both look just as awful. And Glaber
no one called for Tyro.
And Glaber isn't as and Glaber isn't as defensively sound either right now, but he hasn't hurt us on defense yet.
Yeah.
But no one called for that. And the position sparsity and getting production out of the catcher is so rare. So when he does get hot again and you get production out of him, that is unprecedented in baseball right now, besides Real Muto, really. Grandal, Garver, there's a handful. Go around the league and look. So it just sucks that, with Glaber, it's, he'll get out of it and no one was calling for Tyro. And, people were calling for Higgy. What?
Yeah.
If you're calling for a Higgy, that's like calling for a fucking Breivik Valera compared to calling for Tyro.
Vicky V.
And I love Higgy. I'm just saying he's not a starter right now.
You're just not kind of a brainless Breivik guy because you called him that, and still one of the meanest nicknames I've ever heard.
That doesn't ring a bell. I don't think that was me.
Yeah.
Check
the tape.
Jake just make up that nickname right now? That's so mean of him.
Sorry, Bray. Bray.
Yeah, so it's just the status quo is to hate Gary. People watch Gary searching for something to complain about. And like we said, Glaber looked just as bad for the first 2 weeks, and no one was calling for him.
Gary's on base is 222. Glaber's is 232. I think it's, if you find yourself in a Gary war right now, which we try to tell you to not to, but we get it. I still get caught up in him.
And it's not to say he doesn't look awful now.
The Glaber comparison's great. When Glaber was struggling, and we hope he's getting out of it. He had a couple singles. We're hoping he's out of the woods. Were you calling for Tyro? Because it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. So think about that. And guess what, guys? We don't like that Gary is hitting 103.
No,
we're not rooting for that.
All the cross-ups are annoying.
He's had some bad at-bats. We get it. And it needs to turn around. Hopefully soon. But you should believe it does. And a lot of the people you're probably fighting about with Gary don't have a lot of the stats and information with them. So, drop a little bit of knowledge on him. The pitch framing numbers, I know it's a small sample, but early on this season, he was the best pitch framer in the league. No one's really questioned his arm ever. He's got a rocket arm. The blocking and the receiving looks new. I get it. We are not defensive catching experts yet.
I'm close.
Watching Britain.
Doing my damnedest.
You've been on that one that style doesn't seem to work for him. You wonder if the Yankees would address anything like that. I don't know. But, it sucks. It sucks, and hopefully, there is one way to shut him up. And hopefully Gary does that the way he has every year except 2018 when he was hurt.
Yeah. Yep. Next.
Hey, this is Paul from Shoreline, Washington. Yeah, so there's a scene in The Departed where the mobsters are standing out on the street and watching the people walk by and trying to pick out who among them is a cop. And I guess I was just wondering if you apply that to the Yankees, who you would pick out. I think it'd be Mike Ford, but then again, maybe he's a firefighter or something like that. Ooh. I'm curious what you think. Thanks, guys.
Fordy's a great cop.
Ford's a little bit of a cop. He kind of wears his hat like a cop hat.
My initial reaction was Britain.
Ooh, yeah.
Holder and Ford are my cops.
Voight. Man,
no,
Britain's
Voight's
a good
like
one.
SWAT.
Britain's a good one. Britain feels like a mean cop.
Surprisingly kind.
Hap is the kind, like,
I mean,
small
he's
town
obviously
cop.
a Canadian Mountie.
No.
I mean, Hap looks like a Canadian Mountie.
You're going to Paxton.
No.
Hap is like a small town. You're not in Canada. Like, I'll give you Vermont or New Hampshire, but he goes to the schools.
He has the round hat. That's all I need.
Everybody knows Happer, and he's the guy. You've done Dare with Hap. And, that one time you were throwing the garbage away in the dumpster at school because you didn't want your mom to find the booze bottles. Officer Hap's the one that did it, and, he's the town officer.
I mean, he just looks made to be wearing this uniform.
I mean, dude, I'd agree with you, but there's a guy next to him on the staff that was born in that uniform.
No, Paxton doesn't look like a Mountie. Just because he's from Canada doesn't make him look like a Mountie.
What if he's a big 6'6" goofy lefty?
No, he doesn't have the vibe.
It's full vibe.
This is Hap's vibe.
I mean, I think you're almost insulting Paxton at this point. I almost need you to back off that.
Paxton's too cool, man. Paxton's got
I know Katie Joe's listening and we're Doodle Gang. That's kind of insulting his culture at this point.
No.
Saying he can't rock that?
He can't. He's too cool for it.
God. I feel uncomfortable talking.
Hap has zero coolness.
That's...
the mustache does help Hap's cause. Or Paxton's cause. But he's too cool to be a Mountie, dude. He's the Canadian that's driving the snowmobile. He's getting chased by Hap.
Know who's the TV show cop?
Oh, you know what? Sorry.
Okay.
Paxton's a detective.
I mean, the picture you showing me right now doesn't help the argument. I'm okay with it.
He's such a
Just get him in that Mountie uniform because you're kind of being rude.
This dude
him.
is a detective. He interviews people in street clothes and then figures it out.
Buddy cop TV show?
Yeah.
Easily Sessa and Urshela.
Yeah, they're newbies on the force.
They're newbies. They're having fun. It's a comedy. Mm-hmm. It's a comedy, but they're having a good time. Yeah. But there's also some pretty dope action scenes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what someone at a coffee shop would tell you. Yeah, it's a comedy. It's fun, but the action scenes?
But they're just running scenes.
Pretty dope. It's Urshela fielding stuff.
Yeah.
Urshela's just snagging loose babies.
Holder's a pretty good cop.
Never going left, though. Holder's got a little bit of it.
Yeah. Those are the cops. So the best options are Ford and Britain, though?
I mean, Ford looks like a friendly neighborhood New York cop.
I mean, he works the New Jersey beat.
He might.
In Newark.
I feel like I've seen him.
I just had a mean thought.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Ford's like
insulted
Ford's
part of the
like
team.
a port authority cop.
Come on.
He works like a train yard.
Thank you to all our Port Authority cops.
Okay.
JOMBOY, Jake. It's your boy Chris down here in Tampa. Just listened to the last voicemail episode, and the question was posed, who's your favorite Yankee that wasn't your favorite? I can't believe you guys didn't bring up Matsui. I mean, I grew up in the 90s on those teams, and everybody loved Godzilla, but that was nobody's favorite player. So I feel like that name should have been mentioned. And also, Jimmy, for what it's worth, Jorge Posada is far and away my favorite Yankee of all time, but that's because I was a catcher growing up. But keep up the good work. Go Yanks, and Jake doesn't suck.
Oh, mixed reviews.
A voicemail at the end.
Matsui's a great one.
Matsui's a good one. For me...
Fits the bill as, wasn't homegrown, wasn't here forever, but...
my Matsui memories are so fond that, his end years where he... year in Anaheim, year in Oakland, and a brief stint in Tampa, that's...
What are you talking about?
Exactly. Bingo.
Didn't happen.
Yeah. So, that's kind of out of my brain, and... Yeah, I mean, should have got that Rookie of the Year, but Matsui's awesome, man.
Remember when he broke his wrist
So
and it was sad?
cool. Sad.
I liked Matsui.
Hot.
You have more to say?
Hot.
Oh, no.
Hot guy.
He looked like the coffee cake guy from Bronx Tale. What's that guy's name in A Bronx Tale? You seen A Bronx Tale?
De Niro?
No. There's a guy, they call him Coffee Cake because it
Heath
looks
Ledger.
looks like someone put a screen in front of his face and threw shit at it.
Mm.
That's like the quote from the movie.
Miss you, Matsui.
That, yeah. Frankie Coffee Cake. Matsui kind of had that vibe going on.
Here's a fun Matsui stat.
Yeah.
That I think we appreciate now and didn't care about at the time. His first 3 years with the Yankees, he played every game.
Well, yeah. Everyone knew that.
First year was 163. I don't think everyone knew that, Jim.
When he broke his wrist, it ended the streak. It was a huge thing.
It was a big thing, yeah. We got young kids listening, man. Come on.
I think that was a commonly known thing. BBD,
Please.
you're a young kid.
Please feel free to reply. BBD's not a dumb kid. BBD's a man.
There are a good amount of people who weren't watching it.
He's got a career.
He's got a career.
Jeez, Jim. Nowadays,
Why'd they play
players don't even
163?
play. I think he was bored, so he played a bonus game. Let's see. Beat Baltimore last game of the season, 163. Were they tied with the Orioles? Nope. Not sure. Oh, glad I brought it up.
The 163 fact no one knew. But playing every game, everyone knew that.
Not everyone.
Why did they
Feel
play
comfortable in your car if you didn't know that.
Why? Oh. There's a game on April 20th that they started in the 6th inning. No. What the? No, never mind.
Uh-oh.
This is a rabbit hole.
We lost them.
Oh, it pops up as soon as you type in, unless they're listening to us. It's a whole article. How did he play in 163 games when their 163 games never happened? In order to play 163 games in a season, the Yankees would have had to play a tie-breaking 163rd game, or the player would have had to be traded from one team to the other mid-season. That didn't happen for them. Does this have an answer for me?
Come on.
You'll be as shocked as I was to find out I was wrong. Hideki Matsui apparently holds the Yankees' all-time record for playing 163 games for the club in 2003's rookie year. How could this be? Matsui spent all... Get to the point, article writer. Turns out that Hideki Matsui actually is officially credited with playing 163 games during the 2003 season, even though the team...
Oh, boy.
I hate people that write articles.
Coming back at you.
The Yankees were in Baltimore to finish their last road series against Baltimore.
I think it's because game 153 in Baltimore was a 1-1 tie and it got rescheduled.
Is that what they say in there? Okay.
I think that's what they say in the chat.
Yeah.
Why do I remember a one-game playoff with the Red Sox?
Were you alive in 1978?
Not that.
I mean, did game 153, did the Yankees need to finish out, they canceled it or rained it out or something and then replayed it because they were tied or something like that?
No other player played 163, though? Just Matsui?
No. Other high score was 156, so.
Well, how did just Matsui get credit for it when it seems like the whole team played?
Other guys probably sat other games.
Matsui played in both the original game and the makeup game. That's weird. That's so stupid. All right. Next voicemail.
Damn.
What's up, fellas? It's Amato in sunny California.
Amato!
Thinking about what kind of moves the Yanks might make at the trade deadline. And one name that jumps out at me is a guy who signed a one-year deal. And if his team falls out of it, Mr. Didi Gregorius, is there any chance that the Yankees can make some kind of move to bring Didi back into the fold? He's looking good so far for them. He's hit a couple dingers. I just want to see what you guys think of the chance of a Didi reunion, either in 2020 or maybe in 2021. I know we got Glaber holding down shortstop, but putting him at second base and his value even increases further. Let me know what you think. Go Yanks!
Hey, I've been saying they might trade for Romine if injuries still come and Romine's available for nothing at the deadline. But Didi would be very interesting because that relationship wasn't the most bubbly on the way out.
wasn't the most bubbly when we just saw him on the field. Didi had a kind of a cold shoulder up. The Yanks were looking
You agree with
clown
that?
around. I mean, dude, the bump of Gary at the plate, and yeah, when he was on the base paths, yeah, I think it was pretty good.
I thought the bump was the only one that was like, oh, they're like that was the only one I thought was, oh, he's funny. The Judge one that I sent to you guys privately because I didn't want to put on Twitter and have all the speculation weirded me out a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of those the whole series. Anytime someone ran past him or anything,
He just looked down, didn't look at him.
You kind of you expected Didi to do something silly, and I think that was Didi premeditated, being like, the Yankee fans expect me to do something silly. And
I'm not your parrot anymore.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that gets ahead of that. So no, I don't think that's happening. I think the Phillies brought in Joe Girardi and big free agents because they want to win this year, and they're going to have a chance to make a playoff wild card game.
Yeah, they're not going to be eliminated by the deadline.
I'll say this, going forward for baseball, I'll drop a little who knows. I mean, LeMahieu is supposed to be a free agent, and he's supposed to be asking for a lot of money. And this was my biggest thing on the offseason with Didi potentially coming back this offseason. He adds more value at Yankee Stadium. Like, if Didi doesn't have a great year this year and the market's not that good for him, he provides really good value at Yankee Stadium because he pulls literally all of his home runs. So we'll see. Don't by any means get yourself excited for Didi coming back anytime soon.
I don't think he's coming back. It's a fun thought because he's a free agent.
Sure.
His stats aren't amazing. I thought they were amazing, but since the quarantine, he hasn't been as good as.
Hasn't gotten hot yet.
Did you see he got stolen base? Like, I need to see that highlight. What happened there? But yeah, don't expect Didi back.
What's up, boys? It's Carter. Just moved to Richmond, Virginia. Jim's advice for my move was to get a girlfriend, and I'm working on it, so get off my back about it. I've been listening since 2017, back when this was the biggest Greg Bird podcast in the land, and it's my first time calling in. First off, I want to say we need Susan Waldman merch. I don't know who we have to pay off to get that, but coming from a family of entirely Yankees fan women, we need to be able to rep Susan Waldman every day, all the time. My question for you guys is, who do you think on the current team would make the best color guy? I was thinking about the other night, and like Paulie and Cone as players, they would yell at the umpire, fiery guys, and you'd never really pick them to be in the booth. But, we love them. So who do you guys think? Love you all. Go Yanks.
Not Higgy or Chad. Thank you for calling in and listening.
Not DJ.
Man.
I mean, if we're doing the O'Neill thing, I think, Gardy would be the surprise, but he would never.
And have you heard him in podcasts? Long-winded.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of worked for O'Neill.
Yeah.
So that would be the surprise one, a guy that's been around the Yanks forever. I've got a deep cut, but it's probably not for the Yanks. It's a guy we talked about a lot.
I have Gardner doing
Paxton.
Okay.
I could see Paxton being like the Blue Jays guy. Great North. And it's like, yeah, he had a pretty good career.
I like that.
Like Paxton's pretty serious, and he takes it pretty serious, but he's pretty silly, but he doesn't know he's pretty silly.
Okay. People laugh, and he's like, that's what you're laughing at?
Yeah, people
and
are
then he makes a
giggling.
joke, and no one laughs.
Exactly.
It's not brutal, though.
No. It's pretty corny.
Yeah. You said Gardner.
Sure.
And I had him doing play-by-play in my head, and it comes off in my head very Buck light.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like the next generation of a Buck doing play-by-play.
They'd have to get another player with Gardy. Like, it'd have to be CC and Gardy. And if, you do that,
you're lost.
You're broadcast. You're kind of not watching a baseball game anymore.
Yeah, that's how I felt a couple times, and not in a bad way, about these games with Paulie and Coney. And I really don't listen to them that much anymore because I'm always editing or we're hanging out. We don't listen. But sometimes they're laughing and making jokes, and I'm like, this doesn't sound like it's such a new situation for them.
I think not being together has been tough for them.
I have so many questions about the behind the scenes of it. Maybe I'll have Kay come on. Like, do they still have a producer in their ear?
I think Kay does.
Yeah, but so then
Kay and Cone probably.
Can they talk? Can Kay and Coney talk to O'Neill without being live. You know, like there's no cough button.
Right.
Like, is O'Neill just on an island?
I think so.
Because usually you're being fed, like, okay, we're going to go to this replay. Okay, we're going to throw this stat
Right.
up. Okay, here's a little tidbit. They pass notes in front of him.
Right.
Like, is O'Neill just doing this on an island with no one helping him?
Be interested to find out.
It's kind of impressive if he is.
In a basement in Ohio, just reacting. It's kind of what we do. Yeah, and they, dude, it's tough. It's not what they're used to. I mean, we're still, game 16, something like that. So they're getting there. I've enjoyed it. I mean, they're trying to do the same thing.
Oh, no, I was saying I've enjoyed it when I listened. Like, it sounds like they're just fucking around more so than, like, as serious as I think they usually are.
I think they're taking light that Paul O'Neill's coming from his basement.
Yeah.
And a lot of, hammer those jokes because they can and they will. But
yeah, it's good stuff. Oh, we got a couple more.
Jimmy, Jake, what's up? It's Artie checking in. So I was just listening to this Sunday Rays Yankees games on the radio. John Sterling, and I guess Morton was checking his hat for the scouting report or something. And John Sterling goes, now the best scouting report is throwing strikes. Now I love John Sterling, I absolutely do. But I gotta know, is this the worst cliche in baseball? And if not, I'm sure it's not, but what do you guys think the worst cliche is? Alright, I'll shut up and listen. Love you. Bye!
So he said that John Sterling said throwing strikes is the best scouting report?
I don't remember who was pitching, but he said he's got the best scouting report. He throws a lot of strikes.
And then he said that's good. Well, I
Picturing,
tell you,
Mike King.
after watching Mike King and watching all the walks in that Rays set, I'm a big fan of just throwing strikes.
Yeah. It's definitely not the worst baseball cliche.
Walking 6 guys.
I'm trying to think what is. I mean, King walked 5. So I think, it is a little old school. I mean, it's very old school, but it's kind of this old baseball thing that still does work. If you're a young kid and you take the mound, literally all the guys care about is you throw strikes. Like, they kind of don't care if you get knocked around. They kind of don't care. Well, they like if you mow people down, but they want you to throw strikes. So, yeah, I mean, is that a good scouting report? No. But you kind of got to do it. Didn't you have one on Morning today? It was some hitter talking about people in the major leagues throw strikes, so it's easier.
Yeah. Ed Romero said that. Yeah, called up his 19-year-old. Pete Rose said that as well. And I think, with the Astros situation and that young kid hitting Laureano with his slider, I think, that's a lot of players say that is that it's easier to hit in the major leagues once you get there because the pitchers actually throw strikes.
It's also to psych themselves in.
Yeah. I Googled baseball cliches to see if we can find the worst.
Sportscliche.com. Beautiful day for baseball. Like that one.
That's a great one.
That's a great one.
All of these are just sayings.
Yeah.
They have to manufacture some runs. Like, that's just...
He's got the batters eating out of his hand. I mean, that'd be really cool.
But that's like euphemisms or cliches.
Cliche,
yeah. I'm the list I have is just like descriptions.
This one he's got good mechanics.
This one has he's a tough out. Or he's seeing the ball well. I mean, that's not... Is that a cliche? I'm very... Okay, hold on.
I'm a little
In the
confused.
chat, they have looking hitterish. That's a little bit nonsensical.
Yeah.
Free baseball for extra innings.
Yeah, I'm trying... Those aren't cliches, right?
I don't know what's a cliche and what's just like a...
Anything A-Rod says?
Famous cliches. I need to find a non-baseball. All that glitters isn't gold. So that's not the same as he's seeing the ball well.
I don't know. What's okay. It's the how often Kay makes fun of it now, but they used to genuinely say, how often do you see the guy make a great catch in the inning and then he leads off the top of the inning?
Yeah.
That's a cliche.
Yes.
Because
but
that
that's
doesn't
also
happen more
awesome.
often than anything.
I love it.
It's kind of silly.
I love it.
I like that they lean into it now. It's like, how awesome, and now he bats fourth the next inning.
Yeah. Not a cliche, but I like So Jonathan Garcia in the chat said most of these are just idioms. And yeah, that's
It's a T at the end, Jonathan. So
idiots. I like when Michael K says the guy left fielder catches all 3 fly balls. Brett Gardner catches that one and ties a record set by many, making all 3 putouts in the inning. He does that every time it happens. I like it.
He likes it.
Is that a cliche? Is that just something K says?
I think that's something K says. I think, trying to think of other cliches.
I don't know.
Got nothing.
Let us know.
I mean, this cliche website sucks.
Mine was awful. Mine was like 100 different things. He's seeing the ball well? That's not a cliche. That's a description of something that's happening.
He was all over that pitch.
That's a description. I don't understand what's happening.
This website's stinky.
That's basically like he made the out. Is that a cliche? It sounds like just talking about
I'm
what
going to
happened.
click one more article,
Okay.
but I think we could go on.
Oh, okay. Next voicemail.
What's going on, boys? It's Greco. Man, glad to have the season going. Jakey, love the Burns. It's good to have everyone back. So here's the deal. I'm on a little business trip. I'm flying from Dallas to Salt Lake City, and I got a little layover in Denver, so I was thinking of my boy Jake. And here's my question. You know, I'm traveling, so I've got my Yankee hat and I've got my Yankee mask on. What percentage of people that wear Yankee hats do you think are actually Yankee fans? So I'll tell you what, I'm looking at everyone with a Yankee hat, trying to give them a little heads up, trying to give them a that's what's up, and just nothing home. So I think there's a lot of posers out there. It was fresh in my mind. Thought I'd bring it to everyone to see what you think. Love that the season's rolling. Love that everything's going, guys. Let's go, Yanks.
All right. Worldwide, or
Ooh.
Can I take away the tri-state area?
Ooh. Let's do maybe tri-state area and then like rest of the U.S. Right. Yeah. If you're going to airports.
All right. So what percentage of people that wear Yankees hats are actually, and what are we saying as a fan? Watch 100 games a year?
Could hold a conversation. Watch 100 games that's huge for a lot of people.
Can hold a conversation. Keep up
Yeah,
week to week?
Know the guys.
Know the team?
Know who Jonathan Holder is.
Actually,
Okay. I mean, what's yours? Because I have the rest of the country at like 5% is the max I'll go. And I lived a lot of different places. And I think even in the tri-state, I wouldn't go higher than 25.
Okay. Yeah, see, this gets really tricky.
I mean, walk
especially-
around the Bronx, like you can see like guys that going in and
Yeah.
out of our building. We're 2 blocks away from Yankee Stadium. If I ask them, hey, you know who's pitching tonight? They'd be like, there's a game? Oh, I don't know, man.
Bronx is also partially unfair because, I mean, the stadium is like the Bronx. You grow up with it around you. It's almost like a logo. So that's almost another outlier. It'd be like Bronx, tri-state area.
I still think it's very
It's low. I mean,
If you were to do worldwide, too, you're less than 1%.
Jay-Z made the Yankee hat more famous than the Yankee can.
Yankees did.
Yeah, I mean, if you go international, you're done, obviously.
Because in Australia, they wear them, and no one knows what it
It's
is.
a stylish hat. It's a symbol. Yeah, that 5% is not bad. I might go to 10.
When I lived in California, it was basically a strikeout.
Yeah.
It was basically
I mean, it's-
zero. And I would ask everyone, fan or hat?
Right.
And if they said fan, then you'd talk, and then you'd be like, oh, okay, never mind.
That was a giant thing for us for a while. I mean, we had a Yankee podcast. I was living in Denver. So basically anyone I saw in a Yankee hat, and this little tip to any of you people doing your own podcasts out there, I mean, if you're not willing, if you have a Yankees podcast and you're not willing to address someone in a Yankees hat while you're living in Denver, like, I don't know, be proud of it. So I'd normally ask people, and...
What did you just say?
You and I aren't big self-promoters, Jen.
Yeah.
True or false?
True. I'm not.
So I think normally our natural reaction wouldn't be to see someone in a Yankee hat and say, hey, are you a Yankee fan? Would you want to listen to my podcast?
I never said the back end, but I always said the first
If they
end.
were a fan, you would get there.
No, I don't think I've ever... I'm not a
That's not good
self-promoter.
self-promotion. That's
I'm
what
the
I'm saying.
zero self-promoter.
Exactly. So that was my advice. So that's my advice to you as well. If someone's a Yankee fan, don't be shy about it. Be proud about it. But yeah, I mean, in Denver, I think I was, about 1 for 10, something like that. People that were actually Yankee fans. So it's a popular hat. It's a popular clothing item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay-Z made the Yankee hat more famous than the Yankees did.
Yeah.
Think he really not. In a way, he did probably. The whole community, he bumped it. Not more famous than the Yankees did.
It's a bump.
But he made it more famous than it was.
It's a nice bump.
Like I was watching the Australian documentary on cricket, and a bunch of the players wear Yankees hats. There's zero chance they know what's going on. Oh, a baseball team.
The line is that he made it more famous than a Yankee, specific.
Right.
Like any individual player.
Jeter's probably got him beat still.
I mean, it was pretty famous before. Yeah, it's a really tricky conversation. Tough to measure.
I think that's the point.
Tough to measure, yeah.
Good question. How much do those numbers change for jerseys? Asks Rob in the Patreon chat. That's different.
Jersey's pretty high.
No, I'd bump it up to 40 in the tri-state area and maybe 20 around the world. Just to know the players currently on the team. But hat, I mean, when you live other places, there's so many Yankee hats you see all the time.
It's not close.
Yeah.
Whatever the number is, it's not close.
People just wear hats.
Yeah.
Oh, and by
Baseball logos are the easiest thing to put on a hat.
Yeah.
so I found one cliche that I like.
Okay.
That I guess, is this a cliche? I think it is, because it's kind of a dumb line. Yeah. It's good pitching beats good hitting.
That's a cliche.
That's a cliche.
Now that fits the bill.
Right.
He's seeing the ball well.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
Let me see if I've got anything else. But that one popped up, and I was like, okay. That was a good one.
Yeah, another cliche is whoever scores first will win. Those are the sports cliches you run into on pregame shows.
Good pitching beats good hitting is really good because I also hate that one.
Right. Because, good hitting could beat. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay. Good.
Good find.
Thank you.
You saved the whole cliche
Thank
world.
you.
The cliche castle was crumbling. That's a good sentence.
Whoa.
That's a really good sentence.
Heavy, man.
Hey guys, Christian Scott from Cincinnati, Ohio. Can you please explain to me why it seems every time we get a pitcher from anywhere, when they join New York, they always seem to struggle? It happened to Cole, Paxton, Hap. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like it's an issue. Thanks. Bye.
Cole struggling?
I missed that.
The voicemail or Cole struggling?
Garrett Cole.
Yeah, he has Cole as struggling right now.
This is the one I told you would make you mad.
Cole's struggling?
He's been good, and he's also only made 4 starts.
It's been pretty good. Couple late homers. But otherwise, he's been really good.
Yeah, Hap had his best stretch ever in 20 whatever. 18? He's just old now.
I'll give that Cole hasn't really had the A+ stuff. Last start, he touched it.
Yeah,
Cole's been really good.
It's fine.
So that's a Yankee fan call for you.
Did he even mention Sonny Gray? That's the flagship of this question. I mean, Herman came over and he was really good. They fixed him up.
Mingo?
Yeah.
He hadn't pitched in the pros before, had he?
No, but he wasn't a big prospect.
Yeah.
Same with King.
Yeah, I think they're talking track records before that.
Well, if they were just trying to discredit the pitching staff and department, I'm just saying they've had some wins as well.
Yeah. Thankless.
Yeah, Paxton had a good year last year despite early inning troubles.
Paxton had a really nice year.
1.16 ERA plus.
I know. I mean, you were pretty high up there on the frustrated with Paxton list after he gave up that third straight home run to lead off the game.
Fine on the first half and the last half, but
Paxton had a really bad middle stretch that you could be mad at that, and within that stretch, even when he was coming out, it was part of his good stretch to start. he was still awful in that first inning,
which was frustrating.
So there was some extra frustration tied to it. But he had a good year.
Similar to Hicks for
good
my personal fandom with Paxton and Hicks.
Okay, that's interesting.
Even when they perform, there's still a sense of that didn't feel amazing sometimes with Paxton and Hicks.
Yeah, I've got Paxton a tier up before this year because this year's just been bizarre. I mean, throwing 91, 92. He wasn't doing that last year. There were some games where he had a little extra.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I mean that just.
But to give this guy some credence, there is a reason they just overhauled their entire pitching department. They fired every single pitching coach besides one, and brought in a completely new program. I mean, there's a reason for that. Pitching is the Yankees have been ahead on hitting. They've been really good at finding gems. They've been behind on pitching, and they're bringing Matt Blake, and they're going with driveline guys. Are they going with driveline guys? And they're changing it. So, but,
yeah, I think that's very true, and it's also true that if you're a Yankee fan and you're not happy with Cole's performance so far, I mean, come on.
There's a difference between, like, Cole hasn't been lights out, and Cole's struggling.
Sure, we do expect to see another level of Cole.
Yeah,
but
it's 4 stars.
I think you'd like this article. This article I'm looking at, they went through 7,000 MLB players and managers' interviews, and they clipped out which phrases were said the most.
So what's the most?
I don't know if they have it listed. Let me see. All the confidence in the world. Look at the big picture. Keep your head up. Best fans in baseball. Knows how to win.
Best fans in baseball is hilarious.
Play as hard as you can. Great baseball town. It's pretty funny. And it's got the number at the top of the article. You can, like, roll over the phrase, and it shows you how many times it was used. So,
that's cool. We got one more voicemail.
Put your best foot forward.
It's a good one. I mean, that's just good advice. But sometimes you have to put your second best foot forward.
Yeah.
That's just part of walking. So actually, I hate that one.
Hate it.
What's up, guys? This is Nick from Utica, New York. Just a quick question. They were talking about the old Andrew Miller trade on the broadcast today, and I was just wondering, do you think the Yankees would take that one back? Obviously, I know 2015 they were sellers, and you would never take back the Chapman for Torres deal, but, you know, they got some hyped-up prospects from that deal. I'm not going to say the names because I know you guys don't want to talk about the redheaded guy. But do you think they'd go back and maybe want Miller back for that run in 2017? Could have been super helpful. And or do you think maybe they should have shopped him around to another team because it didn't really pan out? Obviously, they wouldn't have known that. Just curious what you guys think, if you think they regret that one. All right, thanks, guys. Keep killing it.
It was Sheffield, Clint, and Fireeisen.
And Heller.
Big
Ben Heller pod.
Did they flip Fireeisen?
I don't believe for anything of that. Fireeisen.
Just for money or something?
Pitched an inning for Milwaukee this year. Made his debut.
Yeah, I remember that.
Pretty nice.
I don't know how they got it.
Let's see. Traded Yankees to the Brewers for Brenny Escanillo and international bonus money.
So nothing really.
So
I mean, they flipped Sheffield for Paxton.
I mean, gets overlooked there, and that's what we just talked about. Paxton was pretty good for us last year, and he's supposed to be good for us this year. Hopefully he can keep up whatever was going on. The 2017 thing is a fun twist. I don't know. I'm trying to have...
Was it a twist? Maybe I missed it. I was trying to think it.
So Andrew Miller, he had a year and a half left on his contract, so he would have been on the 2017 Yankees. So it's basically saying...
Oh, that is a fun twist.
To have Andrew Miller on that Yankees team that took Houston to 7 games, and that was the year Canely got worn out.
Yeah, if that's the way you're phrasing it, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
You would 100%.
I mean, that's the...
Kind of becomes, would you rather have Miller then or Paxton now?
In a way, and I think you'd rather have Miller then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, knowing what we know. Because, that bullpen... Let's see, 2017. So, no, 2018 was Canely year. Or no, we traded. So, Chapman, that was the Chad Green breakout year, 183. Dellin, But was that the year Dellin broke towards the end?
Yeah, he wasn't part of the playoffs.
Right.
So, yeah, you'd take Miller.
Yeah, because we traded for D-Rob and Canely. Canely got pretty overused. Yeah, man.
Good comment in the chat. Who gives up the homer to Bird if Miller isn't in Cleveland will lose the ALDS?
God, now we're doing butterfly
Effect
stuff.
Jake's favorite.
Freaks me out.
I think
I don't kiss my dog's butt.
Yeah, you don't have to kiss your dog's butt.
I don't like that world.
I don't get in trouble at a wedding for filming.
I don't like that world.
Cash probably wished that going in the 2020 season, one of those guys was a huge player.
I mean, in theory, Paxton should be.
It was a 1-for-1, basically, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's when you look back at a trade, and I mean, a relief pitcher for a year and a half, and we've turned that into a starting pitcher for 2.
And Clint could go off.
Still has a chance to have a really nice MLB career.
Heller got surgery, so that's kind of a bummer.
And we're Big Ben Heller pod. I mean, he's still twirling it for the Yanks, so Fire Eisen looks good for the Brewers.
Justice finally had a good start.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, that trade's kind of fun to look back now. I bet that trade's going to be fun to look back 2 years from now, too, depending how Justice Sheffield turns out. Yeah. What does Clint turn into, you know? Baseball and its webs. Is that an idiom?
No, it's just you being an idiot.
Idiom?
What?
Remember when we looked up baseball cliches and no one can give us any?
I mean, that one website listed like 300 things, and they were just...
It was like sportcliche.com, and they had no sport cliches.
Unless a cliche is just something that's said often. But, like, he squared that one up. Isn't a cliche. It's an idiom and a description.
I could use one.
You trying to find another?
I need one more.
Okay.
I need one more that clicks. Chin music, that's not a... Put a little mustard on that fastball? That doesn't...
It's an idiom.
I don't get it.
So those are idioms. I don't know what technically a cliche is.
Must-win ball game?
That's a cliche.
Right.
That's a cliche. What's the difference here? Our brain is doing something that I don't know what it is. So a cliche is just a phrase or opinion that is overused and betrays a lack of original thought.
Okay, so...
But a lot of those... You're allowed to...
Okay, I think I found a good one.
Okay.
I think I found a good list.
Yeah.
This is from February of 2007 on baseballfever.com, posted by Green Monster. Their backs are against the wall.
Cliche.
This team is making a statement.
Cliche.
They just know how to win.
Cliche.
Kind of a cliche. This team is capable of scoring a lot of runs.
Not a cliche.
It's kind of funny, though. It's kind of a dumb line. He always gives 110%.
Cliche. Huge cliche. Probably the worst one. As a math guy, a known math guy, I know that's not possible.
And that's where I kind of put myself under, because I believe in that stuff.
Giving
like extra effort. Like, I do believe in it.
But, like, I think the average effort is probably like 85.
Like, I get it. Yeah. I so get it.
Extra effort's different than 110%.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I have any other ones? I don't think so. But I think that was better. We got closer to it.
I have something to say.
Say it.
Max Manis, longtime listener.
Yeah, thanks, Max.
He just tweeted, greatly appreciated Talkin' Jake's Jewish wedding reference in today's Talkin' Yanks burn.
Thank you.
Which is, behind the scenes, Jake asked BBD if that was allowed.
I just made sure. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I know
great.
they break glass, but I didn't know if it's tied to anything.
Then Max said, JOMBOY, you got any Jewish wedding memories from your videographer days? I'm going to reply to him right now and say, answering this live.
End of the episode.
On the voicemail app. Jewish weddings. And I don't know if this is inappropriate, appropriate, but it's just honest.
Let's go for
it. You go to the ceremony and you think, this reception's probably going to be dull. Doesn't look like we got any party animals here.
Okay.
And then you go to the dancing part.
Yeah.
And it's a goddamn crazy loon fest.
Yeah.
Everyone, I'll tell you this. I used to tell my mom this. She used to piss her off. You think a Catholic wedding is fun? Go to a Jewish wedding. You look like losers. Like if I did a split wedding in Connecticut, there's split weddings. They put up that fake wall. Catholic on one side, Jewish on the other. I'd just be laughing at the Catholics.
BBD, any...
You guys think you're dancing? Check out the Jewish wedding I'm doing.
Any thoughts on this?
Haven't been to that many weddings, Jewish or not Jewish.
Sure.
But knowing what I know about different general parties, I don't know. Jewish parties are fun.
Okay.
Just dance.
Confirm.
A lot of dancing.
You don't have to tell
the
me.
horror at the beginning, and then you go into the chair. It's just a lot of fun.
Okay.
My mom used to get so upset.
Horror is fun.
My mom used to get so upset when I'd say, like, Jewish weddings are way more fun, Mom.
One-stop shopping at Talkin' Yanks today.
Yep. We'll end every voicemail up with a wedding question. Wow. Call in.
Wow.
Wowza-wee. All right. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with Sharp Stats. Yeah, this comes out on Tuesday. Wednesday will be Sharp Stats. Thursday will be the series recap. 2-game set against the Braves. A lot of apps. Goodbye. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.